way that you probably haven't heard us talk about it before. It's been almost therapeutic. But, yes, we got about an hour to go here. And how would you boys suggest that we spend this next hour?
Well, one thing we were going to, because you guys had the 60 minutes left, so we did that, but we're going to have Greg go do the formatics and bring it back.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
And they said,
no, I'm not going to do that.
No, maybe next break you can try it, but what's the drop you said that came out of that when it happened once?
One time I think Grego demanded, this is a long time ago, Grego's like, I want to do some formatics. I want to take a more active role in the show. And Mike was like, okay, help yourself.
Knowing that I'd hang myself.
Played the return cut, and I don't know if you remember this, but the first thing that came out of your mouth was you screamed, all right! And that was how you brought it back from break.
Yeah, I'm pretty poor at that.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at formatics.
I get it.
Wasn't there another one where he said, hey, we're back?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you had to, but you were left without a choice because Mike might have taken longer to his bathroom trip than expected, and you'd be stuck in there by yourself and have to bring it back. And
Well, that bathroom was a long way away.
Panic. Oh, that would be panic.
it seemed like as the years went on, the longer you spent in there.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what it was.
That happens.
Yeah.
That happens as you will find out if you haven't already.
Will you ever?
So in like 20 minutes or so, we're going to do Fax Fodder Online Edition. We have a ton of questions. And again, I'll just give you the little teaser that some of them, I don't know where the line is or what. I'm not going to filter them. If you
We
guys,
never filter fax fodder.
All right. If you want to answer them, you can. If not, you don't need to. You can say pass. So if anybody wants to participate in that and you haven't gotten any tweets in yet, at DownbeatDFW would be the spot for that. And I'll tell you this, Greg, and tell all y'all this, that about a third of the tweets are just people enjoying this, honestly. People really happy to hear that you're doing pretty well these days and just blown away by having you two back together for one day.
They said it couldn't be done.
That seems to be the prevalent reaction to this. Is it's fun, funny for sure, but people are just happy to hear you back on the air for one day.
I certainly appreciate it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you start appreciating things when they're gone. You never appreciate them when you have them.
Yeah.
And believe me, I don't take anything for granted anymore.
I think I know the answer that you'd probably say you miss doing it regularly. One wish, is that what you wish you were still doing this?
I don't know that I could take the rigors of, doing this all the time. I don't know that I could. I just don't know if I could do it anymore. I mean, that's being honest with you.
Yeah.
But, it is fun. I mean, it is neat putting on, a headset that I hadn't had on in 8 years and talking to Rhynes, Danny, and, seeing all the P1s, ex-P1s coming out here. It's great. It's wonderful.
But there is always that chance that you might find that at this stage of the game, it's a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah, there is that element.
Yeah, there is.
But you got to turn around and do it again tomorrow.
That's right.
The next day.
That's right.
Next day. And there's only so many times you can book Carmen policy.
That's right.
Right?
Only so many times. You can walk out of there thinking, man, we killed it today.
Yeah.
We did the best show that's ever been done. And, boy, you're just feeling great. You're on your way to the elevator, about to head out the door. You get on the elevator. It closes about halfway down. You're like, oh, you mean I got to come in and do this again tomorrow?
Yeah, that's me and Mikey's trip to the parking garage pretty much every day at 7:05. Yeah.
Rock your world.
It still is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still relatively new to all day, every day, 4 hours a day. And it's something that you can do for a week or 2 weeks filling in. But when you actually do it every single week, it's pretty jarring, and there's a lot of stuff you need.
I always said you do 4 hours on Monday, kill it.
Yeah.
4 hours on Tuesday, kill it. 4 hours on Wednesday, you're halfway through the week.
Yeah.
So good luck to you on the last two. So
Yeah.
I don't think the listener
But
gets
it's
that,
also not it's not.
No, I don't think they do either.
because I mean, being that's the truth. Some segments are not going to be as good as others. Some are prepared or a bit or something like that. And sure, those are high points. But there's some filler segments. I mean, you just got to have that.
Well, there's sometimes you wing it, and you know you're going to wing it, and you trust your instincts to make it good. And I'd say some of the times, a lot of the times, those fall flat, and you kind of feel empty afterwards. But then you hit on the gold where you go down a side road and you come up, stumble on something that you never even expected.
Always
and you
a surprise.
Always a surprise, and you walk away going, man, that was good. That was really good. So you got to take the good with the bad, and it's pretty equal amounts in my experience doing this. But, yeah, it's not easy. It's not as easy as it looks, folks.
Yeah, the good is what you remember, though.
Sure. And something that you guys were talking about earlier when we were discussing the beginning of the ticket and how, to me, when it hit its unique starting point was when you started bringing your personal stuff into it, personal stories, anecdotes, things that were relatable. Like you said, people would come up to you all the time, come up to me all the time when I was back at the ticket, and the things that they wanted to talk about, it was never sports. They go, man, I love the ticket. I love E-News and Why Today Doesn't Suck and that bit that you guys did today. They never once said, man, that Cowboys HSO segment you guys had, man, I agree with you on that.
No, it was always the other stuff.
Always, which is cool. One of the things I like about this format, if it even has a format, is it leans more towards that.
Yeah.
Is the stuff that is memorable. Now, granted, you do get into that thing that I was talking about where you're taking a lot of risks, and they don't always work out.
It's a lot of without a net, because with sports you kind of have that net.
Yeah.
You can always go back and rely on it if you need it.
Well, you can't be afraid to fail at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be afraid of that. I mean, because you're going to fail in this business because, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. I mean, you're going to misspeak.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
No, I never have. But
you're
a
rock solid.
lot of people have misspoke. I never have.
Well, that's why there's scotch, Grego.
I better stay away from that.
That's right. That's why there is scotch.
That might kick my addictive gene in.
Yeah, let's not. All right, well, we got you guys here. We've done tons of reminiscing, the good and the bad, and I think this has been pretty fascinating. And, again, the reaction we're getting is really positive, with people really enjoying this. And even some people who aren't former listeners of y'all are like, I don't even know who Greg is, but they're kind of fascinated by the stories that we're telling you guys have. But the one thing that you guys always had together was the Fightin' Texas Rangers. So I think why not? You guys just kick it around, chop it up. It's a pretty exciting time. Money is getting spent. Massive name players are being added to the roster. I would assume I don't need to ask Greg that you are still a big Texas Ranger fan.
I've been waiting for this the whole show.
Hey, take it away. You guys chop it up, man, because it seems like blue skies ahead for the franchise.
Because I'm going to blow some minds right here. I don't often do that.
All right, let's hear it.
I couldn't name 5 players on the Rangers. I could not name 5 players.
How many games did you watch last year?
0. Didn't watch one single baseball game all last year.
I watched my share. I don't know if I watched all of them, but I can name most of the players, and I can also tell you just how bad it was. And make no mistake, it was bad. But things are turning around, maybe.
I mean, the only way that I follow the Rangers, because I don't follow them at all. I mean, I checked out of the sports. I mean, I completely checked out with the exception of football and college football, NFL and college football. And I just couldn't take it anymore.
So now I don't have anybody to talk baseball with, huh?
Won't take me long to get caught up. But I just, you know what it is, Rhynes? And you and I talked about this years ago, is that the game has evolved into a strikeout or a home run.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else in there.
It's turned into a true outcome festival.
And I don't like that. And then you have these, these pitching changes where you go in, that's just to where it just kills the momentum of the game. And I just fell out of love with it. Now, do I love the Rangers? Yeah. And if they get good, am I going to jump back on the bandwagon? You bet. Because I can.
Do you think you're going to like the 3-batter minimum this year?
No, because they're changing the rules of the game. The players should have enough discipline where they don't do nonsense, to where they don't take 2 minutes to throw a pitch.
What's a 3-batter rule?
Whenever you make a pitching change, guys got to face 3 batters.
Gotta face 3 batters.
No more situational pitching changes, huh?
No.
But you know what?
But is that tampering with the fabric of the game?
Yes, it is. And to me,
It's tampering with careers. is
and
what
this
it's doing.
nonsense about in extra innings putting somebody on second base. How do you account?
I hated that.
How do you account for that?
I hated that.
Runs. How do you account for the run? I mean, when we're scoring it on a score sheet, how do you score that?
I don't know.
I mean, everybody. There's a reason
I don't
you get
know.
on base.
I don't know because I didn't score 1 game last year, and I don't know how those who do score games, like the writers and stuff like that, I don't know how they account for it.
Because you have to account for how every player gets on base, or the whole scorecard is nonsense. So you know that I didn't like that. I think a lot of the players that they are so far away from the fans. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, that dude today, what's that guy that broke the record, Maris's record, Mike Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah,
Mike
Judge.
Judge.
Beavis
Aaron
and Butthead?
Yeah, Aaron Judge. I call him Mike Judge.
Yeah, you kind of did.
That'll
did.
happen.
Home run for him.
Oh, that'll happen. But I mean, they're paying him $40 million a year. How do you do that? I mean, MLB, are they getting Chinese money too?
I don't know.
And
I guess it's in Bitcoin.
It pains me to say that because you know how much I love baseball. I love baseball, but baseball doesn't love me. I didn't leave baseball. Baseball left me.
It's changed a lot, for sure.
And, I saw where the Rangers, they signed a $500 million infield. That guy any good?
Didn't do him much good last year. One was okay.
How do you pay a middle infielder that kind of money? Is he that good?
Well, I mean, middle of the diamond guys are going to get their money.
Shortstops and
and
Center
the
fielders.
shortstop hits home runs. So you're a middle of the diamond guy and you hit home runs, you're going to get your money if you got that going for you.
God.
And he had a big previous track record before he got here. Now, last year, he got off to a slow start, never really bounced back for it, although he did wind up hitting about as many home runs as he normally does. But I've also heard that he's a really weird guy.
What do you mean weird?
Well, he's got somebody he talks to, some hitting guy that he talks to. And,
That's always bad.
And frequently, after at bats, he would be down there in the tunnel talking to the guy, and he doesn't listen to the coaches much. He's got his own guys, and the main thing I didn't like about him though is last year when early in the season when things were going bad, you would see him out there after making the last out or failing to come through in a big situation, and he would have this look on his face, and believe me, I know this look when I see it because I've seen it from guys out there many times over the years. He would have this look on his face that said, "Oh my God, what have I done? You mean I have left the Dodgers, the greatness of the Dodgers, who go to the playoffs every year and usually the World Series, for this?" And I didn't dig that.
But they got that nice new stadium.
Yeah, they do, and it is nice.
You been?
I haven't been there. I haven't been. No.
You haven't been?
I haven't been.
Have you been for an actual game or just to walk around and
I've
look
been
at it?
for numerous actual games.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
Several times last year.
Really?
Did you go to the World Series?
No, I didn't go to the World Series when they had it there. But several times last year I went out to games. I was a lowly retiree then, so I had this kind of time on my hands for this sort of thing. And I must tell you that if it has to be, and we can only assume that it does have to be, and if so, I think they did this right. It's a really good place to watch a game. Now, at the end of the day, it is nothing more than a makeup for the one thing they didn't do when they built the temple, and that's that.
The roof.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe it was too much money. Maybe they didn't have the technology.
Well, it was Schieffer. I mean, he
Yeah, I know it was Schieffer, but
he'd seen all those old stadiums like in Baltimore, and he was
he wanted something to stay true to the fabric of the game. But back then, if the Rangers had been a forward-thinking organization, they could have and should have anticipated the lower tolerance that the masses were going to have for going to games when, after the third inning, it was 9-1, and it was 9 o'clock at night and 101 degrees outside.
You don't have to be forward thinking to look around and realize you live in a desert.
No, back then you did.
I guess.
They didn't seem to realize it.
Yeah, it just started getting hot about 1980. It wasn't hot before that.
Well, it wasn't the kind of hot then that it is now.
But it was.
It wasn't the kind of hot that it is now.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't quite as hot then.
No, you're just older now and more susceptible to heat.
No, I am not.
Where's your data on this?
All right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I am older. I am more susceptible to heat.
I mean, I'm with you. I get it.
But you cannot tell me that 93 degrees now feels like 93 degrees in the 90s. It's global warming.
It's the same temperature.
Yeah, it's the same temperature, but it feels different.
Do you know
It's
why?
It's global warming.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
what
right.
it is.
All right.
Look it up.
I thought it was climate change now, not global warming.
Well, whatever it is, I call it global warming. You call it whatever you want. To me, it's global warming. It exists.
have you been
Think
to-
about it.
you been to the
Don't
new ballpark?
laugh.
Yeah, I've been to the new ballpark.
Yeah, for a game or
I
for
went
like a
to
fish
NL
concert?
No, I didn't go to a fish concert at the new ballpark.
know.
I went to the NLCS and the World Series when it was here.
What were your thoughts on it?
Oh my God, it's amazing. As much as it's not striking from the outside, or was kind of made fun of online for looking like a big barbecue grill and all that stuff.
Of course.
Dude, it's
See, that's the difference between now and the temple. Back then, in the time of the temple, when it was built, the Smarmmeisters had no platform. Now they do.
yeah. No, I love it. As far as in-game experience and even like the concourse and kind of the common areas, you can go deep left field and hang out and mill and still see the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they got everything right. I think it's excellent.
I mean, I haven't walked all around it yet or anything, or taken the grand tour, or had access to the types of things that we had back in the day at the temple. But from what I can tell, they did do this right. I agree with you on that.
Is this only the third stadium in Rangers history? Is that
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is number 3.
okay? And if you guys had to pick the greatest, I mean, not the greatest of the three, but I don't know what.
Oh, it's
what,
Arlington Stadium.
Arlington
without a doubt.
Stadium.
Is that
No
what
doubt. No doubt
is that
Arlington
what
Stadium.
you have to
No
say?
doubt. Oh, it was a good stadium. It was
Yeah.
an old stadium.
Yeah, 93 felt real good in 1978 on those metal bleachers,
Cool.
right?
Hey, I didn't
No,
say it was
I
comfortable.
was joking. It was a toilet. It was a toilet.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was still a toilet. And, it's the place where the ticket kind of came together, so,
Is
you
it?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
But-
it the All-Star game here next year?
Yeah.
Or
2024.
The year after.
I may sneak into that.
You're just going to sneak in?
Well, I can sneak into anything.
Okay, how's that?
I'm just good at
All right.
sneaking in.
Okay.
Are you?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if
Another big hammer claim.
Okay.
No, I've snuck into Super Bowls
Come on.
twice.
How?
Twice. The Super Bowl here that was at Jerry World.
Yeah, the Packers.
I never sent my bag through the X-ray. Every day I'd walk up there and I'd sling it to the side and walked right through. I could have had a bomb in there.
But did you have a ticket or a credential?
I had a credential.
Well, that's not sneaking in.
So you could sneak a bag in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you said you snuck in.
But I did sneak into a Super Bowl, 1989.
All right, but you said you snuck into that Super Bowl.
Well, I kind of misspoke on that. I kind of snuck my bag in, but I did sneak my bag.
What was in the bag?
A bomb.
So you say
I was going to blow it up.
you did sneak in what, 1989? No
yeah,
ticket?
It was in New Orleans.
Okay.
It was
Was
the
that 49ers Bengals?
49ers and somebody because they won it.
Bronco?
Yeah, 49ers Broncos, yeah. Because Charlie Waters was the defensive coordinator of the Broncos.
Okay, and you snuck in without a ticket. Or,
Well, I had
or
a
just-
credential.
Or you snuck
but
a little bag in.
I had a credential.
Okay.
All right, well, that's not sneaking in, Greg.
Okay, all right, okay. Here's
God
the deal.
almighty.
I had a credential, but I put it in my shirt and then walked on the field. So I was on the sideline.
Okay, that's something.
But
I'm
you're going to
sneaking
sneak into the All-Star game in 2 years, huh?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think I
I
can.
hope you have a better strategy than the first
Yeah,
two.
boy. Make sure you let us know how that works out for
Okay, I will.
you if we don't read about it in the paper.
I'll document it.
What's the story of the? Isn't it Miami's or do a cannonball off a bridge or something? What was that?
What?
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I jumped
yeah.
off a bridge.
That he did?
Yes.
Did you do jump off a cannonball off the bridge in Miami?
Yes. And Dan McDowell was supposed to pay me $1,000, and guess what?
No dice.
No dice. He's still welching. Dan McDowell the Welcher. That's his name.
All right. Well, on that note, we have a few questions that we're going to get to here in a minute. So I think people will ask about some of the people of your past and that you've worked with formerly. So I suppose we might as well get to it. It's Fax Fodder Online Edition. People have been sending us questions at Downbeat DFW all day. I got a bunch of them. If you want to send a few in, you still have time for that. That's the last segment of the day, Grego. He almost made it through a whole damn deal.
Oh,
That's it?
that's it?
I thought you were going to throw it to break. All right, Fax Fodder Online.
Why would he do that?
See, that's
I'm giving
that's what
opportunities.
See, that's what I'm getting at.
I'm giving you opportunities.